Hello, everyone. Welcome to ITS 450. As you know, today, is lab. So on Tuesday, I went over lecture and lab topics, and today, really, I like to have a lab right about now in week 4 that is a catch-up. So I'm not really going to be laying out anything. Instead, I'm just here to, if you have any questions, if I can address any issues, we can do that. As you know, you had the Set UID lab that was due last Thursday. You have the format string vulnerability lab. That one is due tonight, I believe. And for those of you that have finished that, start working on the buffer overflow vulnerability lab. As you know, you can see them here. There's 2 versions of it, like the old version. And then there's the modified version or the new version. But if you look at them, they're pretty much the same. The problems running the shell code, and I've gone over this already, running the shell code, the vulnerable program, and exploiting the vulnerability. Scrolling through this, remember your goal is to get this first, right? So that's as far as you can probably get with this lab. And I want to see you guys get to this, most of you, before I ask you to start working on the rest, okay? So it's got some Python in here. For those of you that like to use Python, you can go ahead and do it in Python. I don't necessarily need you to do it in C, but we did discuss it in the C version in lecture on Tuesday. And then you'll have to do the defeating the randomization as well, but that's after. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is a guideline. So really, both labs are exactly the same. Both buffer overflow, the older version, the newer one, they're exactly the same thing. I would recommend probably starting with the newer version because this one that says 2020, just because what happens is labs get done and then there's always like a few statements in a lab that are not very clear, right? And so you want to really take the new one, which has all the bugs addressed and things like that. Okay, so that's really the plan for today, is just to work on these labs. These are much more complex labs, and so I'd rather you, yes, so you should do the updated version. As I said, the labs are entirely the same. It's the same goal. One lab has how to create bat file with C. The other one has how to create it with Python. So either one is fine. The logic is pretty much the same. If you look at that Python code somewhere in here. Now keep in mind though, you can do X. Now, actually, hold on. You look at it here. This is the C version. Hold on. Python. Yeah, there it is, Python 3.
I have a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Just to clarify, so we're doing, for this lab, we're doing 2.1 through 2.6.
You're going to do everything, and you only need to submit one lab report. So you're actually.
So we're doing everything in this lab then.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
What I meant was that there's so much material that I don't want to, and if I give you like the second part material, you'll get confused. So what I meant to say was that you should achieve first. Your first goal is to get to, where is that screenshot? Get to this. I need to see this. So I strongly recommend that when you do this, you tell me. You may even want to demo it. I just want to make sure that you did it right. And then after that, you can continue with the rest. But you are responsible for the whole lab. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just want to make sure what exactly we did for the lab.
And both of these, they're the same lab, okay? It's the same goal, it's the same, just one is a more modern version of the other one, so read both, you know, it'll help you. I had another question on the chat. So again, you know, you could do the older one and it's pretty much the same, everything that I've explained, or you can just follow the newer one. If you look at them, it's the same thing. It's an updated version of the document. So it's got a few new things like how to do this in Python. Oh, so let me ask you this question. Why is it that we can do, so if you remember in this lab, we have exploit.c and stack.c. Why is it that we can do the exploit code? Why is it that we can do that one in Python? And why is it that stack.c does not have a Python version? So that actually relates to what we're doing, right? So what is it, do you think? Anyone? Josh? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm not 100% sure.
So where there are two files, exploit.c and stack.c. But here, it seems that we can do exploit.c, right? The one where we create the buffer, at the shell code, see the no ops over there, it's the same logic. Why is it that we can do this one in Python, but there doesn't seem to be a Python version of stack.c? How come?
Is it because how the language is handled in memory?
Yes, very good answer. That's exactly right. And that's what I want you to understand, right? That, you know, the vulnerability is in C because of how the function addresses memory, as you said, exactly right. So really stack is the one that is vulnerable, right? And it's associated with the C language, okay? Very good answer. Any other, all right, so as I said, so you are now assigned, remember that this is the culmination of this sequence of labs, right? Set UID, format string, and now buffer overflow. So you need to solve this. You have this Thursday and next Thursday to solve it. And I will just be here to help you out, to help you out, but I want to see you advance in it. And then next Tuesday, I will probably do a review with some slides. And then we might even start web security a little bit. And then after that, week 6, we have our written exam and also probably our practical exam. No, you do not need to do it with both Python and C. You can do this entire lab. That's what I just explained, right? You can do this entire lab with just C. But the vulnerability will happen in C, but the exploit file is just a helper file. You can write it in any language that you want. You just need to generate that input and store it in bad file. Does that answer your question? Okay. All right. So usually I don't like to record solutions on videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the video at this time because I'm not giving any new content. And so you'll see that the video is paused.